Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins in a serene lakeside setting. Congressman Phil Hammersley seeks respite with his loyal dog. However, his tranquility is disrupted by a fateful encounter with senior NSA Assistant Director, Thomas Reynolds. Their conversation escalates into a clash of ideologies, as they discuss an impending congressional vote on a bill, granting extensive surveillance powers to the state, prompting Hammersley to vehemently oppose it, citing concerns over privacy invasion. Reynolds, driven by national security imperatives, attempts to sway him. Undeterred, Hammersley prioritizes the rights of his constituents, and prepares to depart. Tragically, before he can leave, he falls victim to a calculated murder, staged to appear to have natural causes, orchestrated by an NSA agent accompanying Reynolds. Fate intervenes as a wildlife researcher's camera captures the chilling act. As Daniel Zavitz watches the chilling footage of Congressman Hammersley's murder captured by his camera, he quickly discerns the falsity of the reported heart attack. Urgently, he shares this revelation with a journalist ally. Earlier reconnaissance by Zavitz inadvertently draws the attention of Reynolds' agents, prompting a visit to his doorstep. In a race against time, he clandestinely copies the incriminating video onto a computer disk, concealing it within a video game console, before narrowly evading capture via a daring escape down a fire escape ladder. Unbeknownst to him, the NSA employs satellite tracking technology to pursue him relentlessly. Amidst the chaos, the narrative intertwines with the introduction of Robert Clayton Dean, a tenacious labor lawyer. Dean's resolve is tested when a member of the union he represents falls victim to a brutal assault orchestrated by mafia boss Paulie Pintero. Assuring the victim of justice, Dean vows to confront Pintero, drawing upon his expertise in dealing with such adversaries. After a tense exchange at a restaurant, Dean encounters his ex-girlfriend Rachel Banks, who hands him a videotape in exchange for money. Dean heads to the Pintero social club to confront the mafia boss Pintero. Presenting the tape to him, Dean reveals footage of Pintero colluding with union officials, violating his parole. Despite initial resistance, Dean and Pintero strike a deal. Pintero offers better contracts to Dean's clients, in exchange for the destruction of the tape. However, Pintero's anger is stirred by the intrusion into his private affairs, and he demands Dean reveal the source of the tape within a week, or face dire consequences. As Dean exits the club, one of Pintero's men jokes about the FBI watching them from a nearby building, adding to the tension of Dean's precarious situation. He finds himself in a lingerie store, purchasing gifts for his wife, when he unexpectedly encounters Zavitz, an old college friend who is being chased by NSA agents. Amidst the chaos, Zavitz discreetly slips the disc containing the murder footage into his shopping bag, before fleeing the scene. Tragically, Zavitz meets his demise in a fatal accident while attempting to escape, leaving Dean unaware of the incriminating evidence now in his possession. When NSA agents discover Dean's business card on Zavitz's body, but fail to locate the videotape, they visit Dean's home under the guise of local policemen. Unaware of the hidden evidence, he denies possessing any sensitive materials, and refuses to grant access to his bags without a warrant. However, despite their initial departure, the NSA agents return the next day, ransacking his home, planting bugs, and spreading false rumors about his alleged affair with Rachel Banks, the woman who provided him with the incriminating footage against mafia boss Pintero. He finds himself in a whirlwind of trouble after losing his job, and being kicked out of his home by his wife, due to the fallout from the incriminating mafia tape provided by Rachel. Attempting to check into a hotel, he discovers his credit cards cancelled, and his briefcase stolen. Convinced that these events are connected to the tape, he meets with Rachel in a public place, requesting a meeting with the elusive Brill, the true source of the tape. Unbeknownst to him, NSA agents are monitoring their conversation, and sending a fake Brill to extract information about the murder footage. The imposter persuades him he is the real Brill, and gains his trust. Meanwhile, the real Brill tracks them down, eventually confronting Dean and forcing him into silence at gunpoint. Brill, whose true identity is Edward Lyle, reveals himself as a retired NSA agent, and proceeds to remove surveillance bugs planted by the agency, before disclosing his true name. When Dean asks him if the mafia is after him, he reveals the situation is far more serious. The NSA is targeting him, evidenced by the military-grade bugging devices found on him. A helicopter tracking them to the rooftop prompts Brill to suspect additional bugs on Dean, and instructs him to discard all his clothes. Before departing, Brill advises Dean to avoid both him and Rachel. Once alone, Dean flees from the NSA, but the remaining bugs on his clothes allow the agents to keep tracking him. Realizing this, he strips off his clothes, much to the amusement of an elderly couple witnessing. He escapes by climbing balconies, stealing a robe, and setting off a fire alarm to create a diversion. In the chaos, he ends up in an ambulance, being treated for smoke inhalation. He steals a cop's gun, escapes the ambulance, and runs into a tunnel. Despite being monitored on CCTV within the tunnel, he manages to evade capture by giving his robe to a worker, leaving the NSA agents frustrated and empty-handed. Afterwards, he goes home and successfully convinces his wife that he is not having an affair with Rachel. He then realizes that his son has the device Zabit slipped into his shopping bag at the store. Meeting his son in the back seat of the car, he finally retrieves the much sought-after device and goes to meet Rachel, stealthily entering her house, only to discover she has been murdered. He finds his discarded clothes from the hotel planted there, framing him for her murder. He also notices a photo of the real Brill, with Rachel as a child, revealing that Brill was her family friend. He contacts Brill again, and they meet to discuss the situation. Brill explains that the NSA murdered Rachel to frame Dean and discredit him, ensuring that even if he went public, no one would believe him, as he would be seen as a murder suspect. After this, Brill goes to a store to get something to eat, instructing him to stay put. However, as typical, he leaves and uses a public phone, which alerts the NSA to their location. The NSA obtains the store's CCTV footage, and realizes that Brill is an ex-NSA operative. Meanwhile, Brill takes Dean to his secure lair, where he has been working for the past 15 years. There, they view footage of the congressman's murder, and understand the gravity of the situation. Just as the plot thickens, the NSA tracks them to the hideout, thanks to Dean's phone call. The building is attacked by the NSA. Although they manage to escape, the disc containing the evidence of the congressman's murder is destroyed in the ensuing fire, and they decide to fight back and expose the corrupt NSA agents. They target Congressman Sam Albert, a supporter of the surveillance bill. Using surveillance bugs originally planted on Dean, they set up Albert by planting the bugs in his hotel room, exposing him to an affair with his aide. Brill orchestrates the situation so Albert realizes he is being spied on, and the bugs are traced back to the corrupt faction of the NSA. Brill infiltrates Reynolds' private property, posing as an electrician and planting bugs, ensuring Reynolds finds them. This is done to make Reynolds feel hunted. Additionally, Reynolds discovers an unexplained deposit of $140,000 in his bank account, suggesting corruption. To further complicate matters, he receives flowers implying an affair, angering his wife. Brill and Dean manage to get Reynolds' attention, and arrange a meeting to get a confession on tape. However, during the meeting, Reynolds doesn't confess, and Brill and Dean are captured. Reynolds plans to kill them, but Dean claims the murder tape is with Paulie Pintero, a mafia don, and takes them to an Italian restaurant under FBI surveillance. At the restaurant, Dean convinces Pintero that Reynolds is the source of the troublesome videotape, and makes Reynolds believe the tape concerns the Hammersley murder. Brill, pretending to vomit outside, alerts the FBI to the situation at the restaurant. Inside, a standoff ensues between the agents and the mafia, leading to nearly everyone dying, but Dean and Brill survive. The FBI sweeps in, exposing the conspiracy behind the surveillance bill. The surviving conspirators are arrested, and the FBI covers up the NSA's involvement. Pintero is framed for Rachel's murder, clearing Dean of all charges, and allowing him to return home to his family. Brill escapes to a tropical location, sending his greetings to Dean via a bug in his TV. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.